I want to welcome you to this 11th session of Destination Transformation. I'm your navigational guide, DrLaVerne Adams, and in this session, you will learn how to literally revolutionize your life, and I'm going to show you some powerful techniques to recognize the power of the miraculous. Miracles are happening all around you, and you may not even notice that they're there. It was Albert Einstein who said there are two ways to live. You can live as if nothing is a miracle, or you can live as if everything is a miracle. And I choose to go with Albert Einstein and live as if everything is a miracle. In this session, you will learn how you can consistently see miracles and experience the miraculous each and every single day. These breathtaking experiences will leave you in awe and wonder. And if you're honest, you will admit at least one time in your life you knew that God did something that was absolutely impossible. You may recall something that you experienced that was out of the ordinary or defied every single natural law. I'm sure you even heard of countless stories of people who escaped impending danger unharmed without explanation. And these people never knew what happened. They knew that they had lost all power to control the situation and to control the outcomes. And so they knew that only the power greater than themselves could have afforded them such a special opportunity to still be alive. And we've seen this over and over again, people in car accidents, people who have been under operations under the knife, people who have, similar situations. One person dies and 300 other people, one person lives and 300 other people die on an aircraft. It's just the uncanny, miraculous that you cannot explain. It's the unexplainable. And it's clear that once this happens, your life will radically shift and experience the kind of revolution that you never could have had these experiences not taken place. These people who come out alive of these life-changing situations, they live the rest of their lives out completely differently, and they know without a shadow of a doubt the only reason why they're still alive is because of a miracle. And I can give you countless examples in my own personal life where I remember explicitly driving across a very busy street, two directions, two lanes of traffic, and I pulled out. I looked one way and it was clear. I looked the other way, it was clear. And when I went to go out, all of a sudden I saw a big truck come out of nowhere. It was dark, and I don't know how I got across that street, and I'm still alive to talk about it today. That I saw the truck, I saw the lights coming at me, and somehow I arrived on the other side of the street safe, without harm or injury. And I know that wasn't anything but a miracle. It was early in the morning, but I wasn't intoxicated. I wasn't drink. I was on my way to the airport, and I know without a shadow of a doubt, and I could tell you over and over and over again, countless examples of miracles that have taken place in my own life, and I know that you can think of several in your life as well. And so as we go through this session, you're going to learn more about how to be sensitive to these experiences, and that these experiences actually cause you to think drastically and dramatically differently. And this is now going to transform the way you think, because your awareness has been raised to see that more is possible, that the impossible becomes possible. This awareness is going to change how you think, but it's also going to change your behavior. You'll become increasingly aware of where and when the miraculous is happening and taking place, and that a great deal of things are already happening around you that are completely out of your control. When you tap into this great awareness, you begin to hear the symphony of orchestration of people, places, things, and events that are miraculously moving on your behalf. And you will be able to be more aware of that all of this had already been happening all around you all the time. You will literally be able to watch vehicles of destiny position you exactly where you're supposed to be, exactly when you're supposed to be there, and you will experience the technique of synchronicity that envelopes your entire existence, that effortlessly moves you into your purpose and your reason for being alive. When you think about the miraculous and when you embrace it, you primarily accept that there are things that happen that are just simply out of your control. But what you may not realize is that you can be an active participant in the miracles and the miraculous that's already happening around you. The first step in this technique is that you have to acknowledge that they are there. You have to acknowledge that the miraculous is there. And once you acknowledge that the miraculous is there, you raise your level of expectation and you begin to look for the manifestation of miracles in everyday life. When you learn how to identify the miraculous and you recognize that they're happening, you will be more careful not to ascribe the miraculous to mere and utter coincidence. You acknowledge that the miraculous is there. You recognize the force that's greater than yourself. And this is when you come to the absolute realization that God is continuously at work in your life. All you need to do is simply participate with the process. Soon you begin to anticipate that God will move on your behalf, and suddenly situations change, things change, because you are relying on a power greater than yourself. This becomes especially true when crisis takes place in your life. It may be health, it may be relationships, it might be financial ruins. And when these things happen, we tend to typically move into a survival mode. But there is another dimension that I want to share with you that you can shift into, and that is a miracle mode. In this miracle mode, you're completely reliant on the power of an awesome God. Once this happens, you never look at crisis the same. You begin to trust and believe that regardless of what happens, regardless of what comes, regardless of what goes, everything will still work out for the best. And when you open yourself up to the miraculous, you gain the sense of peace, you gain a sense of calm, regardless of whatever you might be going through. You will begin to gain a sense of newfound trust that literally revolutionizes your life and your way of being. You'll no longer walk around in fear and worry, but you'll have a blessed assurance that things will work out for your good in the end. Have you ever considered that crises or tumultuous circumstances arise to come to strengthen your faith? Is it possible that difficulties come to strengthen you rather than to destroy you? Can you embrace the idea that God wants to get you in a place where you can believe that anything is possible? Sometimes we can only get to this place one painful step at a time. And these crises come to force us to move past a faith crisis to move on what we really believe is possible. And whenever the unexpected comes and occurs, it shakes us to the core. But when we are grounded on the foundation of faith in the miraculous, we can respond very differently to these shaky situations. Then there are times when it's hard for us to see our future and we fear the unknown. And when we're at this place emotionally, we get confused and even disoriented. And when we're in this state, we're at a loss to take strategic action to move our lives forward. This is not the place you want to be. You don't want to be in worry. You don't want to live in fear. You don't want to live in disorientation or confusion. It disables you from strategically taking the proper action. And the temptation now is that we would continue living there, and we would shift into fear whenever a crisis occurs. But we have to immediately resist the temptation and believe that a miracle is possible and can take place in our lives. You have to believe that something good can come even out of bad situations. And when you begin to embrace the realm of the miraculous, it is no longer possible to stay in fear, in doubt, and in unbelief. Something will change in your life, and you can't undo it. You begin to accept the fact that God allows radical crisis or radical situations for a purpose and a plan in your life. And then you begin to realize that difficult moments allow you to pass and press into new dimensions that you may never had before. Sometimes you need a cataclysmic event to help shift you so that you can activate your faith in a radically different and new way. You will never be the same because miraculous experiences cause you to believe like never before that the impossible is possible. And that's when you know that things happen in your life to closely align you to your destiny. Whether good, bad, or indifferent, you take life as it comes and you accept the fact that God has a purpose and a plan for your life. You don't need to worry. You don't need to fear. When you trust and rest in hope, you know that something good will come out of the situation. And this kind of faith takes you to new levels and new dimensions of belief. This kind of faith believes the impossible, feels the intangible, and sees and expects the most beautiful things to come out of every situation and every circumstance. This kind of faith can overcome every obstacle, and this kind of faith dramatically changes the vision and the trajectory of your life. This kind of faith revolutionizes your life and your outlook forever. And I strongly suggest and recommend that you use these techniques in your life, especially if you have been through tremendous difficulties and you can't seem to shift out of negative thoughts and a negative existence. Use this opportunity to trust and believe that the miraculous is possible, that anything can happen, and you will notice as you travel down the road to your revolution, your life will be absolutely revolutionized. What you've learned in this lesson will totally transform your life. And I want you to, if this is still a struggle for you, feel free to reach out to me on my website at totallifetransformation.net. Be sure to use your Destination Transformation Workbook to chart your progress. And I want you to know I care deeply about you. I want to help you go further than you've ever gone before. And I want to continue on this journey. And our next turn, which is the last road that we'll travel on together in this session, is the road to your reward. I can't wait to see you in the next session.